All right, so it's Monday, time to propose a mythical bill, a single-point solution that if I was a member of Congress, I might put forward. One bill, one issue on one page, because it's really not that hard. Modern problems call for modern solutions, but what happens when the modern solution is nothing new at all? Transparency. Now, with the headlines being completely dominated by the Trump indictment again, 50% believe that it's politically motivated. That number jumps to 55% in this Harvard-Harris poll. 56% consider election interference. Not a great look for an administration whose entire base calls Republicans fascist. So why not let the sun shine in on all of it? If Trump is so awful that he must be prosecuted and that they have such a good case, why not air it out? So if I were a congressman, I would put forward a bill that if a politician running for office is to be indicted, all proceedings would have to be televised to the public. That includes the grand jury testimony. If you can protect the identities of the jurors, obviously, great, do that. Now, the public has the right to know what is going on, especially where it concerns the leading candidate for the Republican nomination for president, not to mention the former president. Why would anybody disagree with this? Unless they don't want to have us see it. Because the government would never withhold exculpatory evidence, right? Ask Mike Flynn. Joining me now to discuss, former Georgia Congressman, retired U.S. Air Force Colonel, and host of the Doug Collins podcast, Doug Collins himself.
Hey, Carl.
Okay, so why not let the sun shine in?
Well, I think what we've got here is the problem you have is let the sun shine on everything. Getting to the grand jury, that's going to get a little bit harder. I mean, and remember, one of the things about the grand jury that we've really got to discuss is it's not, let's just be frank, if you can't get an indictment out of a grand jury, there's a problem with your case, okay, for the most part, because it's all prosecutor. It's just like only the offense playing.
No defense.
In no defense, you don't have any real qualm there. And some of the issues, too, and especially when it gets to grand jury and those kind of what we'll call the proceedings beforehand, people are named or implicated that may not ever be charged or indicted and seeing that. So I think that's a little bit. What I have a problem here with, and let's take your bill a step further. Let's modify it a little bit.
Okay.
If you have a non-classified document, then I don't know why we even have to do a bill like this, like the information the FBI is holding on the Biden possibility of a bribery, then that should never be withheld from Congress. I mean, there's multiple ways. And it was really interesting to me in the Senate and the Judiciary Committee the other day, Ted Cruz actually hit this. He said, why won't you show it? If it is unclassified, is it unclassified? Yes. Well, it has sensitive information. You and I both, I'm still in the military, you're in the military. Sensitive information is different. You can work around that. This is just stupid.
It really is dumb. I mean, John Durham, too, he's going to be testifying behind closed doors this week about his special counsel investigation into the Russian collusion, the whole garbage that wasted $40 million taxpayer dollars. But this is what the House Intel Committee, Mike Turner, said yesterday.
When your government's lying to you, when your government is telling you that something has happened that has not happened, that's when our committee has to be involved, and that's when we have to look at what happened here. How do we make certain this doesn't happen again? How do we make certain that we don't have people with a political bias entering into political campaigns and using the authority of the government to have major media and the government take actions that are not based on truth?
Doug, they spent $40 million plus taxpayer dollars. Yeah. I want that that out in the sunlight. You should put it on ESPN.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really interesting because the Intel Committee is going to do this one. They'll have their closed door one. But there will be a public one with Judiciary Committee, which will get a lot of this stuff aired. Durham's not going to answer outside the report for the most part. That's going to be the problem here. Democrats will be on the defensive. You'll have their Biden propagandists. You'll have the Republicans trying to get answers on. But now this goes back to my time. This Durham, this whole thing, this is something I'm intimately involved with. And I said this the other day on one of the shows, that you cannot hold DOJ in a scathing report on DOJ malfeasance and basically put them in timeout and say, oh, well, they didn't do anything.
James Comey did it to Hillary.
Comey, oh, God, don't even get me started. Comey struck McCabe's page. Look, again, in this environment, a DOJ that is politicized, especially a FBI that is politicized, they get rewarded for what they did. I mean, if McCabe gets a contract on CNN, you get Comey sitting out there standing in the woods, looking at the woods, saying, are they talking to me? What is it? But this is the problem that we're seeing with a DOJ that most people don't trust. And those numbers are disturbing, Carl. And they're the number that you showed at the very start of the segment. They're disturbing for a bigger front. If you have a people who are getting more and more concerned 56% that the Justice Department or the execution of justice in this country is not fair, then when does it go beyond the political realm and they start looking at individual cases coming on down the line? Yeah. And that's when you start tearing at the very fiber of who we are.
Yeah, it is. That is going to be a real problem to see. Yes. Look, let the sun shine in. That's kind of my
Get it out.
Doug Collins, always a pleasure to have you in
Talk
studio,
to you,
boss.
my buddy.
All right.